So was there ever a time during all of your promotions, was there ever a time that you just felt like you wanted to give up, or this is something I can't do, or it's too hard, or I'm not being heard, or I'm not being seen? What advice would you give to anyone that is looking to get that promotion and they just keep hitting that wall for whatever reason, whether it be personal, whether it be professional? What is your advice, or what kind of strength would you offer them for them to keep going and to just keep pushing and keep persevering?
So it starts with the vision, starts with your vision and a roadmap. I mean, we think about navigation. We think about, when we get into a car and we don't know really where we're going. So what's the first thing we do? We punch in the address, right? Mm-hmm. Because we know that that's going to guide us to the right place.
Or if you have a Mercedes, you say, "Hey, Mercedes, take me to blank," and Mercedes will take you to blank.
Yeah.
Right.
So without that, imagine your life without a roadmap. Now, some of us have never had a roadmap. We've just kind of been thrown out there and we just say, "Hey, we're going to go do whatever comes." You have to have a roadmap. You have to be focused. You have to know that you're going to go off. You're going to go off the beaten path sometimes, but you have to have the strength to get back on that road and to keep pushing forward. And again, I think that's what was instilled in me my whole life is do not give up on your dream. And when I said I will own my own dealership, I went into the bank, and I'll never forget this. I cried for I sat in my car. This is when you would pull up, you'd put like a quarter in the little meter, and then you go in, and it was on a timer. So Mr. Bailey, God, this is crazy how I remember these names. So I walked in, and I said, "Mr. Bailey, I need to borrow $40,000. And it was and I had money in the bank, but I already decided I wasn't going to run that dealership. Mm-hmm. I called the owner. I'm like, "Look, I'm leaving." "No, where are you going?" I said, "I'm leaving." So he thought I was just leaving for the day. I packed up my stuff. I had a friend call me. I said, "I'm not going to do this," because I was not being heard. We talk about, are you being heard? Mm-hmm. At that point, I felt like I wasn't being heard, and I felt like I wasn't being taken serious. So I packed my stuff, got the loan, $30,000. I started Belinda's Auto Sales, and I had another banker that said, "You're not going to be successful." So how did I do that? Well, I had the roadmap. Mm-hmm. And that was my goal. I'm going to own Belinda's Auto Sales. And I did for 17 years. And you asked the question, have you ever been at the bottom, and how did you just keep going? Mm-hmm. The eve of 9/11, everything went haywire, right? Mm-hmm. I had a banker come into my office at Belinda's Auto Sales and said, "You know what? You've got to pay." And I had $1 million worth of inventory. I had a beautiful showroom. You're going to have to pay your floor plan off. So what does that mean? So you liquidate everything. You liquidate your assets, you liquidate your savings, and you liquidate, and you say, "Okay, I have to liquidate. And then what do I do?
What's next?"
What's next? I still had the roadmap, right? Mm-hmm. My roadmap was to be a general manager at a store from an owner that believed in me. And Mr. Peterson sat in this room. It was a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And he asked me here at this dealership, he said, "What do you see?" I said, "I see me running this store, and me owning this store someday, and this being a mega center, a mega used car center." So you go from nothing to making a lot of money, being, not given the opportunity. But again, you have to go back and remember, look at all those people that influenced my life. Look at all those people that gave me the opportunity. I was told no, and now it's time to go. You got to pay off everything you've worked hard for the last 15, 18 years. You're like, "Oh my God.
What do I do now?"
But guess what? I'd already been there. Mm-hmm. I started with nothing. That wasn't I just had to keep my eye on the game. Had to keep my eye on the ball.
I think there's so many people that have goals. For example, a new person walks in and says, "I want to be a general manager of a store one day." Mm-hmm. And that's their goal. But there's not it's not broken up into smaller goals. Like, well, first I need to be a receptionist so I can learn how to answer the phones. Next, I need to,
Yep.
work in parts. Next, I need to work in, that there's steps to get there. And so when you have a large goal, you have to break it down into smaller goals,
Right.
so that it's more manageable and you
Right.
can kind of check that
Yeah.
off of your list.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to get to the next step? Once I'm at this step, what do I need to do to go next, so that you can keep going? And then if there's something you need to relearn, you know where you have to go back
Yep.
and be able to relearn starting from that point.
Yeah, you have to have people around you that believe in you.
That's really important.
You have to have the people that believe in you, and that's one thing I will tell you about the Hudson organization that I am so excited about. And from the first time I met TC, the first time I met David Hudson and Brent, we walked through the dealership, and it was amazing that just the feeling that I feel like I have arrived with the team of people that I don't have to prove myself over and over again.
Right.
And that's one of the hardest things about being a female, is we feel like that we have to continue to prove ourselves
Every day.
every day. And I'm not trying to, go back and say, well, men have it easier. Well, I think we have, as females, we have that mother instinct, we have that fighter instinct, and we just feel like that, hey, we just have to we have to keep moving forward.
What strategies do you think, kind of piggybacking off that, what strategies can work well to promoting inclusion in the workplace? How do you get everyone to work together as a team, male or female? How do you get everyone to realize the opportunities that are in front of them, male or female, right? How do you create that culture here in your dealership where people are heard, where people do feel like they're valued, where people do feel like there's opportunity and doors that are open for them here?
So I think for me, here at this store, I review every single person at the end of every month. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know, how are you doing? What is your focus? We talked about this, I think, a little bit last night. Some people are just okay being a receptionist. Some people are just okay being a tech, but I think you have to have the resources in your dealership. You have to have an open door policy. Your people have to know that you're here for them. You want to listen to, their bad days. I never really had a general manager other than my first dealership that would ever listen to me. I would go in, I would train a group of salespeople or a group of managers, and then they would get promoted before me.
And that had to have been kind of like a gut punch.
It's a gut punch, and it's because, again, the people that I surrounded myself at that time was toxic. So my goal, when I had the opportunity to have my store, this store will never be toxic. We will all work together as a team. We win as a team. We lose as a team. We all have bad days. But I think just having the camaraderie, we do a lot of company outings. We do like
Team building
team building activities. And I know we do the Women of Hudson, but I've got some things going on my mind right now. How do I bring that to a dealership level with everyone? Everyone should have a voice. Everyone should be able to speak and speak freely, and not worry about offending someone else, because we all have feelings. We all have a lot to learn from.
I agree with that.
And that's how I built myself, is learning from you. I mean, Queen, the people that I touch, I'm always going to find something to learn from.
What advice would you give to the next generation of women that want to move up and possibly become a GM like yourself?
Let it be known. Let it be known early. If you go in and you interview for a sales position, and I always tell everyone that I hire, and we talk about this, what are your goals? What are your ambitions? Where'd you come from? And I tell everyone this: I would love for you to want my job. Some people don't want my job, but I want someone to want my job, so they would will push me. And the people around me, my mentors, my leadership group now, you guys push me, and that's what I have to have. But I think that you have to let it be known, hey, I want to do something more than a salesperson. I'm not coming here just to sell cars. Maybe I want to come and be your best salesperson, and then after that, I'm going to be your finance manager, and then after that, I'm going to take your job. So you have to let it known.
That is great advice, Belinda. Well, I would love to thank you for spending this hour with me. I know that you're super busy during your day, putting on different hats. So I just want to thank you for coming on and spending an hour with us today. And hey, guys, if you're ever in Ohio, make sure you stop by Mercedes-Benz of Westchester. Say hello to Miss Belinda, grab a cup of coffee and a snack while you're here.
Thank you.